Damn it, son, that's looking good. Getting excited. In this video, this is going to be part 1 of 2, where I get the dashboard put back together, and at least this far along. And there's a good look at it. So I'm really happy with this. In part 2, I'm going to be putting together, I got a light hanging from my, I'm going to be putting in the gauge cluster, the lens, the glove box. I'm going to be tightening up this wire, putting in my new radio, excuse me, and then finally the steering wheel. That's coming up in part 2. This is part 1, just putting things together and at least getting it this far. Hi. And so I'm excited. It was a job getting this dash in, but I did it by myself and it is doable. But what a deal. But anyway, I am so excited how this is turning out, gang. This is looking great. I'm super excited. Excited to do part 2. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, so I thought I'd make a quick video because I've already made an installation of the dashboard before, but it was my old one. This time I'm doing the new one. So I have the dashboard on the workbench, which I'll get to here in just a second. I'm still straightening out some wiring, so it looks a little scary in here. The wiring was a mess. So I decided to take off the side console panels, and also because I'm going to be putting a bracket for the radio, which I've talked about in several other videos. But hang on, I want to show you something here. Okay, so I've been asked a lot about how the side console comes apart. There's 3 screws buried in your carpet, and you can see one goes back there, and if you look down here on your seat, there's screw number 2, and bear with me, screw number 3 is right down there. That's where it's accepted at. That's how you remove the carpet. And then the console piece itself is held on there. And there's another one right down there. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to position my light here. Hang on. All right. Where's that little booger? I lost it now. Oh, there it is. Okay, and there's the second screw right there. Okay, and while this is apart, I'll show, this is where the bezel, your gauge cluster bezel in the radio, see where that connects? And then right there, that's where there's a bolt and a nut that connect those two. So that's just a real quick, there you go. Now, one thing that I wanted to do is I took off this pillar. See that pillar there? The plastic pillar. I took that off on both sides. So we'll swing over here. I took that pillar off, and let me tell you something. I thought it would be like a 5-minute thing. There are 3 screws, 1, 2, and 3. But that's not the worst of it. It fits on, the plastic pillar fits on really taut. And mine had some sticking points where it literally has some adhesive. I don't know if that's from the factory or a past project that somebody owned the car before me did, but I had to use some of my plastic pry bars to get it off. It took me about 30 minutes a pillar to get it off. So I question if it's worth it or not. I don't know. And I can't believe I did it without breaking them, but I was very patient and I was able to get those off. Here's my interior toolkit. The plastic piece, the plastic pry bar that I had to use is right there. And it is so easy to break. I did it without breaking mine, but did some research and saw where a lot of people had broke their pillars trying to get them off. So be cautious. And all right. Okay, so I'm starting to prep the new dash. I got the glove box latch on. There's my new bezel gauge cluster, my new radio. I'm using the old bezel that I had to get things lined up and mark the holes. And my God, you know, if you drill, be so careful. I did already pre-drill the sides. There was a little pin mark from the factory, and it was correct, but I used my metric tape measure and made sure they were very precise. And I'll show you something, a little bit of trouble that I had. So this clip, if you remember in my removal video, this clip here on the dashboard latches onto the metal frame right here like this. Okay, all right, so it's got it like it's an open mouth, and then that clip gets behind there, and then that's it. I had to put 3 washers there because the first one I started to ratchet, and on the other side, so on the top side, the finished side, I felt it start to bubble up, and I still had a couple of millimeters left to ratchet on it. So I put 3 washers on there. I don't know, maybe your dashboard's different, but that's just what I had to do. That's what this video is about. All right, so I got those clips in place, and I'm gonna jimmy with this, I'm gonna mess with this bezel and get it in the right spot, because it's my dashboard, it's not marked, so I have to be careful and mark. Drilling, if you don't have experience, don't do it. Maybe if you know somebody who's a carpenter or something. When you're using a drill bit, it has a tendency just to run away from you and just poke through the other side. Maybe you don't want that. And so in this, the screw actually goes into this material. So I want to use a drill bit that's almost as big as that shaft, but not as big as the thread, is what I'm going to do. You do it however you see fit. All right, so just real quick, the metal clip on the dashboard where I had used the 3 washers, see that lip right there? That's what it grabs. That's what it grabs, and that holds it nice and taut in there. The main support to hold this dashboard in place is those 2 clips, and then the 2 screws on the side, and the 2 screws on the side over there. All right. And as always, before I start any project on my car, I always completely disconnect my battery. So before I started anything, I disconnected my battery. So just real quick, as an FYI, I did mark in here where to drill for the bezel, but I didn't actually drill. I decided to wait until the dash is in the car because this dashboard's going in and then the bezel. So there's no need to pre-drill now and decide it's a little wrong, you know, and then you have to drill another hole right beside it, and it makes a big figure 8. So I'm not going to drill this just yet. I'm going to put it in, make sure things line up before I drill that hole in there. So okay, so this is something that I decided to do. Not that I'm in the mood to spend more money after investing so much in this project, but this is my old headlight switch, and there was nothing wrong with it. It still works. It's the original one from 1978. I bought a new one because it's fairly common for them to start going out. And while I've got the dash apart, I thought I'd go ahead and do that. I'll take this one and put it in the box and just hang on to it for a while and make sure that I don't have any problems. But so a little preventative thing. It's $40. They're $40, and it might save me a world of trouble here because you never know about a used one, especially from 1978. And while I got it out, because I've made a couple different videos on various things, and I've been asked this on 2 different videos now, so I'll just show it real quick while it's here. This is where the vacuum hoses line up that flip your headlights up. And then this right here, this little button, is a release button that allows this knob to come the rest of the way out so that this can be removed. So that can be removed off the dashboard. I've already addressed this in a couple different videos, but just as a bonus if you're new to my channel. All right, so here's the squillio dealio. I was reading through the instruction sheet that came with it, and it said to basically take your lens. This is my old lens, by the way, and you know, kind of mark where these holes go, because with this one, nothing's been pre-drilled so far. So I put them in here, and I got this lens to fit. And what I did is I marked the holes, and I looked online. I was getting conflicting information. I've installed a new dash a few times over the last 30 plus years. I can count on one hand how many times I've installed a new dash. This one is the first one where nothing's pre-drilled. So, and some sites and forums that I read through said to pre-drill, others said to not. But I think I can drill these after this dash is in. I hope I'm not making a mistake here, but I'm pretty sure I can. I was looking at the mechanics of how this lens goes on and everything. So I think I'm going to, for right now, not pre-drill. And I'm not making any edits on this video. So I apologize. Normally, it takes me a long time to make edits. If you've never made a YouTube video, it's fun, but it takes a long time. And this project has consumed a lot of my time. I do have other things going on in my personal life. This is just a hobby for me. So it is what it is. I hope it helps. That's my intent, is that I hope that it helps. All right. Anyway, so I've marked the holes, and I've measured it with my old dash, blah, blah, blah. But I've just marked for now, and I'm going to move on. So, okay. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is get this. I'm looking through my camera, so bear with me. This is the wiper switch, okay? And I've got to get this metal plate to sit in here. Now let me zoom in and show what I'm talking about. Okay, so this does not want to fit. And I could just brute force it in, however, that's not a good idea. So I don't want to break something. I'm going to have to use the heat gun, which makes me very nervous because turn my light on. There we go. You know, with shipping and everything, I paid $800 for this dashboard, so I'm trying to be extra careful. Blah blah blah. And I don't want to overheat. This is going to be a low setting, and I'm just going to barely go over it. And I'm going to get this metal to fit. Then I'm going to mount this from the back, the actual switch, and then, you know, I'm going to take this metal back off. Because I can't. Well, I mean I could, but the way I did it before was I did not have this on because I wanted this loose. I wanted to put the dash on, and if you saw my removal video, it was sitting in there like this. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for again, and then I can electrically hook it up, because you got to screw it from the back and then kind of put everything in motion and then put this in. That's what I did before, and it worked really well. However, this contour is not right. So I'm going to hit it with the heat gun on low for about a minute. I'm going to push this in place and then let it cool down. All right. So anyway. Again, this is just a low setting, and I want to be very careful. I'm just going to do this. I'm not trying to get it butt blistering hot. I just want to be able to push that metal plate in. And hopefully you don't have to do something like this. And don't just assume that you have to. You might not. Okay. So that's softened up, and I'm going to put that in there. And I realize the back of my hand's probably getting in the way. I'm trying to show the camera as well that you can see what's going on here. Okay, hey, here we go, gang. This is much better. Okay, I'm gonna work that into place and then just let it sit and cool down. And it's not real hot, it's just really, really warm. Okay, so I did hit it. The camera turned off, but I did hit it with the heat gun again, just a little bit, just to get that in there. And I'm pretty happy with the result at the moment. Okay, and so I'm not watching my camera, and like I said, I doubt I make too many edits. One time I made a 10-minute video, and it basically took me all day by the time I did edits and some reshoots and stuff like that. Okay, hey, anyway, never mind about all that. So I'm going to let that cool down. It was pretty warm to the touch, and I'm just going to let that sit. Okay, so FYE for your entertainment. There's the wiper switch mounted with that one screw. And then the plate hits up there where you can't quite see. And then, like I said, I've got that molded to fit pretty nice and taut on the other side. That's what it looks like from the back side. And, oh yeah, the electrical connection for it is right up there where my bad finger is pointing, my little nasty finger pointing right there. That's where it's, but it's not aimed at the audience, so everybody calm down. But that's where the electrical plug is. I might try just to leave this in, actually. I mean, I have to leave it in because of this, but I don't know. I might put the metal plate on and see. I think maybe I can. The wires are long enough that they're actually longer than I thought. I think I can plug the electric in when I bring the dash over. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to shoot from the hip. Okay, so just real quick, one thing I wanted to draw attention to. This is the driver's side speaker that I'm getting ready to install. And I don't recommend this. This is just what I've done. I've put a couple bullet splice connectors, male and female, in this into the wire instead of disconnecting it from here. And I will show you why I chose to do that. Okay, the reason why is, I know this is still a mess in here, but just ignoring all this. So the speaker is going to sit here where my hand is, and I can't reach past all this. It's been my past experience. I've done it a couple times now, and I can never reach to plug in this speaker. So now the wire is going to come down here, and then I'll just splice it in with those bullet splice connectors. I don't like doing that. I don't like splicing a wire like that when it's not necessary. But this is just, maybe it's because I'm an old guy, but the few times that I've done it, a couple times that I've done it, I just can't get that speaker plugged in. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. The other one has the glove box. The glove box comes in much later, so I can just reach it and plug it in. So the passenger side, I mean, so yeah. All right, so I'm not going to make you watch me do this, but this is the top of the dash. This is me getting the speaker bolted in through the top. And again, nothing is pre-drilled, so it makes me nervous, and that's fine. It's just, got to take my time. This is the first time I've seen one where it's not pre-drilled, so the windshield gets in the way if you want to try to put the speaker in later. There's not much room for the tool, so putting the speakers in now. Okay, party people. So next I'm going to be putting in these speaker covers. It's a little taut. That's okay. There we go, just like that. All right, and then now I'm going to flip this up. Do this to the other side. I should have got my camera stand. Hang on, maybe I'll record this. Okay, so I got the one side in. And these are refurbished, by the way. These are actually my original speaker covers. I just sanded them down, primered them, painted them, and so on and so on. And painted them black, and I'm trying to be careful with them. Oh, there we go. Oh, nice. Yeah, actually, I'm very happy with how that went. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go do the other speaker. There's no sense in recording the same proceeds. So now the other one, this one's above the glove box. This is the passenger one, so I don't have the weird funky wire thing happening. Okay. Actually, I just thought of something. I will hit record long enough just for a friendly tip from your old pal 3 a.m. Your wire connector, you know, I want mine facing towards the stereo. If I go back here, theoretically I could still plug it in, but it needs to go. Will it even go in the wrong way? Oh, yeah, actually, it's possible, but I want that connector going there. That's the thing about these projects. You got to take your time. It's like playing chess. You got to take your time and look at all the angles. And when you think there's no possibility, you have to force yourself to find the solution. That's what chess is all about. I'm a big chess player also, but anyway, big as in fat. All right, so the speaker grills are in. I did have to buy a new defrost vent. I didn't want to. I feel like I've spent enough money on this project, but that's the way it goes. This is the old one, and you can see it's warped really bad. And I've noticed the little screw hole bracket is missing from my old one. So, yeah, that's pretty bad. So, I did have to buy a new one, and let's see, I think that has a screw hole in it, yeah. So, I might have to, you've heard of Papa Smurf, this is going to be Papa Hole. I might have to pop a hole in there for this, so that this mishigash doesn't happen again. But this is probably the original one from '78. I think my daughter originally bought this car, and it got new paint, but before the new paint, I think it sat outside for a long time is probably what happened to some of this stuff. Okay, anyway. Okay, so my new defrost vent doesn't quite fit. I just can't. And the instructions did warn that that might happen, so I'm just going to take a metal file and I'm just going to take just a little bit out of there and get that to be a better fit, because it's not wanting to go, and I'm afraid once it does, it's going to bubble up in the center, which I know I got this screw here, but there's no sense in having it do any kind of bubbling. I'm just going to file this a little bit here. All right, let's see if the camera can see this. I just got a metal file, and I'm just going to file that down just a little bit. Okay, so that little bit of filing did get that in there. That snapped right in after just a little bit of filing, and so I'm very happy with that. It is getting nice and taut, just like it's supposed to. I do want to go ahead and pop a screw, not Papa Smurf, pop a screw in here. Like I said, originally didn't have that, so I need to look and see. I've got a screw that'll work, but it's got a bright silver head on it. So let me look at my shop here and see if I can find a black-headed one. If not, I'll have to stop by the hardware store or something on the way from work tomorrow. And I want to show you something really quick because, man, be careful if you do this. Where's that bracket at? Right there. See that bracket earlier? I was talking about 3 washers. Yeah. So I don't know if this dash pad is a little thinner than the other one, but I've done a lot of construction in my day, and I kept my hand on this side, and as I was cranking it in, I felt it start to bubble out, and I still had several cranks to go, so I backed it out immediately and built it up with washers so that it wouldn't go down. I don't know what the difference is between this one and my old one, but I'm really happy with the new one, but just taking precautions with everything. Don't want to damage an $800 piece. I'm not made out of dashboards, you know. Okay, so I'm going to start working on installing the glove box door. My car, like many cars, comes with the optional feature of a box for storing gloves. But all joking aside, if you need to remove the latch, the there's the tumbler in here with these little teeth. And this little pin right there. Okay, as you move this up, you will see that spring open right there. Or I mean that that pin springs into that opening is what I meant to say. And there's a series of teeth. The next 4 after this one are brass, and you'll have to get a small screwdriver or something and push that down, and then this will become, the tumbler will become out of here more and more. I made a whole video on that. If you want to check that out, just not too long before this video I made, if you go to my homepage, you'll see a video on this if you need to know more about this lock system. But otherwise, I'm going to keep moving forward. Okay, so I'm trying to, install the glove box door, and I kind of had a splatter-ass moment, so it's not starting off real well. In that I was trying to, the latch closes here with this bar, and as you can see, the bar you can adjust. And I was trying to make all these little adjustments so that the door would sit in here just right before I permanently mount the hinges on the back side. Again, there's no pre-drilled holes or anything. So, I was, what I think I'm going to have to do is, I took this off, the bar off, and I'm going to get this, the glove box door where it needs to be, and I'll probably use painter's tape. Be very careful. I don't recommend doing that, but so I can just hold it in place, and then I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to mount the hinges where they need to be. After the dash is in the car and secure, then I can adjust the bar and have the door sit just right. Okay, so just as an update, I got the door held in place, propped up on the other side with some 2x4s, and so the dash is kind of pivoting on that. And I'm just putting in these two in case I'm wrong and I need to move something. I have, at least this option to put in a new screw. So I'm going to tighten this one down and then take a look and see at what we got here at this point. Like I said, 78 Corvette Silver Anniversary came with the optional box for holding gloves. So I don't know if that was a special feature or if all cars come with that. I don't know. Okay, so learn from my mistake. I had this face, the front of the glove box, pushed down too far. I did give it a little bit of a void so that it could swing, but it wasn't quite enough. It still just barely hits. So I need to move it up just a little bit. So I'm glad I still have this other hole as an option. And I'll come back and, move this up a little bit, and so it'll still work, but I like the strength of it not possibly creating a figure 8 with the 2 holes side by side. All right. Okay, so this glove box, I've spent way more time on it than I thought I would. Like I said, I made a whole video about this assembly. Please don't make me repeat all that, Mr. Gosh, and the terrible jokes. So if you... I feel Jeff Foxworthy lawsuit coming on. If you need more information about this, watch my previous video. Okay, so here's a tip from my old pal 3AM. I was happy with my hinge location on the second try, and I've got it pretty well. And I loosened up these 4 bolts, and I'm able to make just minor, let me zoom in. I'm able to make minor adjustments. You can see that, how I can move there, right there on the edge of your screen. I can move this faceplate just a little bit and make minor adjustments, and then make those screws nice and taut again. Okay, I'm sorry it took me a long time to spit that out, but I've been messing with this for a long time. But so this will give me just that little bit of adjustment that I need. So, all right, so here's the squillio dealio. I finally got the glove box in place, and the faceplate of it adjusted, and so finally got that, and I got the clip on there. All right, so phew, what a deal, but finally got it. Okay, so remember when I said I was going to put this on the latch bar onto the latch after the dash was installed? I changed my mind because this was getting in the way and I couldn't keep the door closed. So, you know, hey, remember when I said I was going to let you last? I lied. All right, so I will need to make some fine-tune adjustments with this glove box after it's all installed. And I'm getting sick of the glove box. All right, so next on the docket is to reinstall these vents. And they go there. And the instruction sheet also said that this might be another spot where a heat gun is required for the first time on a new dash to get that in there. I don't think it is, actually. It looks like it's going to go. Let me see if I can get that in there. Looks like it's wanting to go. Okay, so the vents actually went in really easy. I just kind of made sure that as I was pushing those in place that I wasn't bunching up the vinyl on the other side, and I wasn't, and they hit right where they were supposed to. So yeah, that was pretty good fortune on that. So now I'm going to go install the other vent the exact same way. So there's a closer look from the driver's side. I didn't bring my camera stand with me over here, but I'll show it to you. Pivots from side to side. I can't hold my hand, sorry, just showing the back of my hand. But okay, yeah, like that. Of course, that. So I'm very happy with that. That actually went really smooth. Okay, and remember now, this is just plastic, so you don't want to crank it down super taut and break something. If you break something, remember, it will grow back. Actually, no, it won't. But you will have to buy a new one. So don't over crank it. Just a tip from your old pal, 3AM. Okay, so I think I am about ready to cut the umbilical cord on this dude, which is this here, which gives it strength for shipping and for moving around with all the things that I'm doing. Because I think I'm ready to take it over to the car and start roughly putting it in. And so, oh, and my light fell over. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next, and then take it over to the car. Okay, so I've prepped some of this wiring just to rough put in the dash. And I know it looks like you did, but the reason why mine looks like such a mess is because somebody got in here at one point and rewired a bunch of stuff, and I don't know, it was a mess. And a lot of this was me trying to figure out what wire was what. But I've got everything out of the way of the dash. So if nobody's messed with your car, you should just see like this. You should just be seeing plugs. And that's the new plug I put in for the radio. And so it's not that you'll necessarily have this mess that I did. And I'm still trying to straighten it out. And I've got some white wire that I just came in and I had ran out, and I'd used red where it should be white, and white with a black stripe. And so I'm going to get that straightened out. But I need to, before I start zip tying things together and bringing things out, you know, here's the antenna thing, all that, I need to get this in here, the dash in here, and then I can clean all this up as I work through it, so that, you know, like this, when I'm done with it, will look a little bit more like this, and all the wiring will be the correct color, blah blah blah. So if you're thinking about doing this project yourself, you know, that's 100% up to you, but don't be intimidated by all this. This is my unique situation. Okay, I've rambled about that enough. Okay, so I need this out of the way of the steering column, so it's time to cut the umbilical cord. But here's the thing, and this is kind of like the thing. I mean, I have big snips that I could just snip and snip, but I don't want that to shatter the plastic and go further back. So I'm going to score the vinyl, and then I think this is a good job for Jim Duggan, or was it Dugan? I think it's Duggan. And yeah, so that I can slowly cut through that plastic without shattering it into other areas. So if you don't get that joke, you can search and get that joke if you care enough about that. All right, Jim Duggan, or Dugan, time to earn your keep. All right, so I cut one side, and now I'm cutting the other, and hopefully not gonna cut my arm. There we go. All right, isn't this fun? Watching me cut this. See, I wanted a fine tooth saw, is why I chose Jim Duggan, because Jim Dugan. Yeah, I should have. I can't remember what his real name is. I should have looked. And my camera's about to fall off the stand, but you get the idea. All right. Okay, I'm sorry for the poor lighting, but it's just me out here today. So I carried it over, and I'm getting ready to slide that in place. And then I'm going to lift up on the center and get this in place. And I'm going to try to record it. I'll do my best. I'll set up my camera stand behind me, and we'll see what happens. Oh, I see. I've got to bring that more this way. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me try that. Okay. I think I've got my camera set up in a good spot. Dang it. I want the audience to see this. I make all my videos honest. Oh gosh, okay. All my struggles and victories and struggles, and maybe that's got it. Let me see if I can see. What's that do? Okay, how about that? Okay, I think I'm recording now. Okay, so I've just about got it into place. I need to go a little more toward the passenger side. It's getting hung up right there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I've nearly got it. Whoa, 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 okay. There, okay. Hey, actually, this needs to go up a little bit more. Let me see here. And of course, that's not good. Shit. Getting hung up on that steering column. Needs to be. Hang on. I don't think I got enough out of the way for the steering. I'm going to back this back out of here. I don't think I took enough out. Okay, gang, I am trying to record this the best I can. I got that side in, and I'm working this side in. I just plugged in the wiper. Yep, right there. and I need to, you know what, I need to put this headlight switch in too. I need to put that headlight switch in, and I'm gonna keep working it in. I've almost got it. Okay, so one thing I did to give myself a little more room is I actually just walked over here to the passenger side and lifted up, and was able to scoot this back over more this way towards the passenger side, which, you know, it's starting to take shape. That's giving me a lot more room over there, gang. So I gotta go install this headlight. You don't have to watch me do it. If you've seen my video, then you remember how I did it like that. Then it gets screwed into the switch. All right. Just real quick, I was just walking around here and I'm just like, damn it, son, that's looking good. I'm getting excited, but we're not done yet. And it's just me out here, so I didn't know if I'd be able to do it by myself or not, but I was like, we're going to find out. All right. I finally got the speed and tack in there. It was getting bound right down here earlier. I did not take any more out of there. I thought maybe that was the problem, but I measured my old one. It's the exact same. I think it was just getting bound up down here, but it's going now. I haven't pushed it the rest of the way in because of this, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I got the light plate back on. When I push the knob in, then it'll be locked in there, and then there's that button underneath. The vacuum hoses are hooked up. I did knock off the metal plate. When I was setting it in here, I knocked off the metal plate, but I'll put that back on easy enough. The electric is hooked up to it, and that side is in, and so this one, the clip is sitting right on the edge, and I got to make sure all this is lined up. It needs a little bit of help, and then you're going to see me push this in the rest of the way, and you're either going to see me snap this sumbitch in half, or you're going to see it snap into place, one way or the other. We are committed, son. There is no turning back. Let's do it. Okay, so that's the best angle I can find for my camera. And that clip is about to go. I just ended up getting this a little out of whack right here. I'm sorry, the back of my fat head probably keeps getting in the way, but I need to be able to do this. There we go, there we go. Yeah. Where's my tool? Okay, my little plastic pry bar here that I'm using to make sure all this stays lined up like it's supposed to. Okay, so I'm just lining this up right in there. Okay, push that over. All right. That's just about got it right there. Okay, I think I've got this ready to snap into place. I'm sorry for the poor lighting here. Just take a minute to do that. Okay, there we go. Okay, wow. Okay, whew, that's got it. I'll show a little closer here. I'll show some close-ups here. So one thing, these corners need just a little bit of help, and I'm just hitting them with the heat gun, just barely, on a low temp. All right, and now I'm taking one of my interior tools, and I'm just opening up this corner a little bit. Okay, it was pretty rounded. I saw that when after I snapped it in place, I saw that this was too rounded in here, so I'm just very, very carefully, I'm just straightening out that curve. The only way I know how. All right. Okay, so I think I'm going to call it a wrap for the day. Pretty happy with how it's going. So in the next video, you're going to see me zip tie a lot of this wire together, get it where it's supposed to be, and put in the lens here. I'm going to be putting in this lens, the plate down here, the switch for the headlights to stay up when you turn the headlights off. I got to put the glove box in, but most importantly, I'll be putting in the gauge cluster, tightening up these vents. Gauge cluster along with the new radio I got, and making sure it's nice and secure, nice and taut. So that'll be coming up in part 2 of this video. This has actually turned out to be a lot longer of a video than I wanted. So probably because I was rambling, but maybe not. Maybe. Just FYI, I got my little helpers with me today. This is one of them. I got 3 helpers. This one here is involved with a lot of my projects and helping, so we appreciate Chip's help and everybody else. Oh, there goes the other one. All right. This is another one of my helpers. You've helped me for a long time with a lot of my projects, haven't you guys? All right.